Hello and welcome to another episode of the Appelboom Bites podcast. Today's episode number 58 already, and we're here in a live session on our YouTube channel, Instagram channel, and also Facebook channel, together with a very, very special guest. I tried him to come on the show for many times already, but now finally he's here. So I'm really happy that he's finally here. And we also have a very special co-host. But first, let me introduce our co-host because it's Clare Coco. Clare, welcome on the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Everything's going really well here, so it's all good. And I'm not happy with this 11 a.m. my time, but I do take it for the team if we have to go. If I have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So
honestly speaking, I have to say I really, this time is even better for me as well. Because the store is closed now. It's 5 o'clock here. Store is closed, and I don't have any stress anymore. So, all right, let me introduce our guest because we have a very special guest. We have a guest all the way from Dubai, Yasin. Welcome on the show. I have asked you to come on the show for many times. I don't know, I cannot even count them anymore. But we had some issues with the previous program, which is not allowed, or I don't know, you cannot access that in the Emirates. But this program that we're using, StreamYard, you can. So I'm really happy that you're here. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you, Joost. Thank you, everybody, for having me in today. Actually, this is my first podcast ever. I'm very active in the community, collecting pens and sharing the knowledge with my peers who are sharing the same passion. But when they are calling me, I have to attend. I cannot decline your call. And Claire, thank you very much for being the co-host for today. It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you as well. And I've been enjoying some of your Instagram and Facebook posts.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm currently in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the capital of United Arab Emirates. I'm not from Dubai. Dubai is the next Emirate. So it's 7 p.m. evening here, and I believe it's morning in the United States. And for you, it's 5. It's the perfect timing. It's much better together.
It's very, very international conversation. This I would like to welcome also everybody that's on YouTube right now, watching this stream. And if you have any questions for us, for Claire, for Yasin, for me, just drop them in the comments, and we will discuss that. So before we start the podcast, we always do the pen check, and I would like to ask you, Claire, to start with your pen check.
The pen check.
Well, because I know what we're discussing today, I decided, and I love music, so I decided to show my Frank Sinatra Montegrappa fountain pen. Whoops. And I just think it's I love the fact that it has a microphone for a clip, and it has a blue sapphire here. And Frank is also known for his fedoras, and it's on the clip. And it's just, everything about this pen is just absolutely beautiful. And it has the music notes going around the grip section, which makes it easier. It's not slippery like a regular metal grip. And I love the fact, I don't know if you could see it there, but it has this fedora engraved on the nib. So and the black and white stripe is reminiscent of the tuxedos he used to wear. So I'm a big Frank Sinatra fan. And in fact, I actually sing one of his songs. So a few of his songs. So yes, I do sing as well.
Well, let us hear that, Claire.
You'll have to go in on my Instagram. I put a little clip there. So yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and easy does it every time.
Okay. Yeah. So everybody is heading over to the Instagram page from Claire to see your singing.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit. But yes, but so I had to show the Frank Sinatra pen. And for a fine nib, I'm not a fine nib person. I really like mediums or broads or a little bit bigger. That fine nib, because I can only get it in a fine, acts like a wet medium. It's just absolutely beautiful, so I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
It is a beautiful piece. I think it's also it's an older limited edition, right?
Yeah, it's much. They made 1915 because that was the year he was born, and I got number 7. So I found it online because I'm a big, like I said, music. I have a few like Montblancs that are music themed as well, and so anything with music, yes. So, yeah,
It's a good team. Thank you for your pen check, Claire. Yasin, what fountain pen do you carry with you today?
Well, it's
wait, one moment. Claire, we have a question here about your pen check. Is it heavy?
No, especially without the cap. The cap is, I don't post. And, but without the cap on, it's a nice weight from, a nice weight for me. I'm just going to get it in the frame there. Right. Okay. So, yeah, it works. It's lovely.
Okay,
not at all.
Great. That's great. All right, Yasin, let's have a look at your pen check. What fountain pen do you carry with you today?
It is the hardest question you ever could ask anybody to choose one, because I have plenty somewhere here. But I thought, for the sake of the show, to have something that has a story behind, a pen that tells its own story. I brought an Auto. This is a Hurricane, an Auto Hurricane. So there is a story behind this pen, and the making of this pen is actually the history behind it and the material they used it. So it's a fighter. It's an RAF fighter, Royal Air Force fighter, and specific. This one with the tail number P2725 is the last fighter that was fighting to protect the Buckingham Palace, and it got crashed. It got crashed nearby the palace. The story goes that they dig out this fighter, and it was famous for the engine it is having. It's called the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine. They molten down the metal of that, and they used it in the cone of the fighter propeller, like the end cone of this pen. So it's not a very personal pen to me as a collection, but for the sake of that unique story behind it, it tells much more. And me personally, I'd like to look forward to military stuff, Air Force stuff that's already having a story from World War II and so on.
Yeah, so this is quite a historical piece, actually.
So it is a historical piece, and it is coming in a limited number. It's 250 pieces. It is a limited edition. As a writing, it's a very wet nib. I do have a medium, and it's inked up. So they have a number 7 nib, they call it. It's actually an auto nib, and it's 18 karat. It is a very smooth nib, and it's very wet.
It's very nice. I really like it. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. All right, let's have a look at my pen check, because I do have some pens here on the side that I will show later on in the show, also as some new products. But one of them I will start selling right now, because we just got those in. Actually, I need to grab my gloves for this, because it's quite a precious one. I have it here. It is the Aurora 366 calendar pen, the Bianco, for 2024. It is a white edition, and I don't know if the camera picks it up, but there's a little blue inside that material.
It's beautiful. You can see it.
Really, really subtle, but there is blue inside there. But now the question is, because this is a white pen, what ink should I put into this fountain pen? Because of course you also would like to match and mix a little bit, but with white, you cannot put white ink in there. So what ink should I put in here? Let us know in the comments and give me some inspiration for this beautiful new Aurora 366. Because of course there are 366 days this year. That's why it's the 366 limited edition. All right. So far, my pen check. Before we start the podcast, Yasin, we have a question from our previous guest. And the previous guest was Luca Bagliona from Scribo. And he had a really good question for you, because his question was, what are you looking for in a fountain pen?
It's a great question. And Luca is a well-known person, he's behind Scribo. I personally watched that episode and I liked it too much. And for me, I'm more of a writer. I do collect multiple pens from various sources, but I do enjoy the feel of the pen. So if you tell me, is it one brand that's only the brand is going to satisfy your hobby? I would say no. I'm running into all the brands actually, and the feel of everything is different, honestly. So I would like to have a full-sized pen, a normal full-sized pen with a nice nib. My taste for nibs has been changed because I was into extra fines. Then I've been the oblique guy. All my nibs were in that period oblique nibs, and now I am more stubs. So medium, broad, stub. So I don't know. I had a shift in taste from time to time, and I like a pen that's having a clip, that's having a good filling system, and it's unique. That's my story behind the pen.
I like that. I like those criteria. Claire, what about you? What are you looking for in a pen?
Well, I feel the same way. I like to have a story with the pen, and I've been collecting now more my fountain pens. I really, when you first start collecting, you kind of go gaga over every pen you see. Now I just start collecting. It has to mean something to me. Like I said, with the Frank Sinatra, it's music. I have other criterias that I love in a pen, but also the pen. So I have the Marilyn Monroe, which now is the Maria Callas. The problem is that pen's too small. So I also have size and nib size and everything too with the pen. So I have to I'm a little bit more selective now. I've learned that what the likes and dislikes in this past year of a little over a year of really actively collecting pens. It's been a wonderful journey, but yet I like the stories. It has to have some meaning behind it. I think that makes the writing experience more enjoyable.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
It's a combination of things. Everything should be perfect. So, yeah, you cannot give up one thing because then eventually you will not use it, and then it's just standing there and in a drawer, and you're not using it, and that's also really sad. So you don't want that, of course.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They're made to be written with.
Yeah, definitely. All right, Yasin, you are the admin of two really large Facebook groups dedicated to writing instruments. One of them is the Montegrappa Pens Club, and the other one is the Montblanc Society. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So basically, the story goes like this. And I've been collecting pens, and that I don't share my passion with anybody until the Pelikan hubs came, and I was one of the first in the region to run the show here. So I came to know that this passion shouldn't be kept within myself. When you are with the same community sharing the same passion, it's much beautiful. You have some stories to tell. You are making some nice friends. So the early beginnings weren't into Montegrappa and Montblanc, honestly saying. It was a different page that I just share random pens all together. After some time, I noticed that within my collection, these two brands are having most stories, most pens, and also the pens that I could talk for longer. So, for example, when I take Montblanc, they do have a lot of history. They do have, and personally, my collection as well is started to be more focused in that area. So I thought, why not Montblanc? Because I have a wider audience, I have a content to share, and also I am having a lot of pieces from their brand. When I talk for Montegrappa is basically my passion, because it's like we are almost over a decade now. I'm in a good contact with Giuseppe Aquila, and that's the brand that's feeling me like a home. And I do have several collections of Montegrappa as well. They together were growing with me. So that's the story why I created Montblanc Society. First, it was known as the Secret Montblanc Society. I wanted to have some thrilling agents, some thrilling factors associated to that, and then later thought like nobody ever searched that something called secret. And first, I had to put the brand name, and surprisingly, when I called it Secret, the first people to follow me were, in fact, the people from Montblanc itself. So they were like, "What's?"
It was not so secret anymore.
Yeah.
My friendship, and from there on, it's been growing. And remember, COVID hit us very hard. People wanted to see. I had a different taste. For me as a collector, I had certain rules and guidelines to see when I have a picture or a post of a pen. If it's for sale, give me its price, give me its details, plus have the picture available. That kind of story, the mindset I have conveyed through that platform. And at the same time, I've noticed that Montblanc, even if it's a big brand, sometimes the story of the previous edition is not cascaded. It's not always in their media and their platforms, which our role is kicking in. And it's a big brand. They have different levels of management passed through. Some people have different stories. They have different achievements. But there is nobody is always going to carry on that passion. For example, Montblanc in the 50s, I don't think a brand would like to at that time. But now I do see there is an improvement in terms of their posting, in terms of the knowledge they are sharing, and I really wish for more. So that's my story for Montblanc Society. And Montegrappa Pens Club, it's a start at the same time. Remember, I'm having a full-time job, and I do share my passion for writing. So creating a content, writing about the content, it's also time-consuming. So I focused more into Montblanc because I do have a wider audience there. It's over 14,000 now, and it's growing. And I do have some people who are texting me. So I felt like I have to give them the enough time for good content and such of that.
Mm-hmm. So what is your personal favorite if we were talking between Montegrappa and Montblanc?
Well, it's different stories. It's like you have two kids. You cannot love one child.
That's why I'm asking you.
I would say the character of a Montblanc is different. When you find a Montblanc, the character of their artistic pieces are different. They are limited editions, tells the story differently. And Montegrappa is much wilder. It's a platform that can transfer for you for more hotter pieces. And that maybe the Italian culture of that. You cannot merge together and say Montblanc is better than Montegrappa. So I do love to balance the taste of the two worlds, and that's me basically.
I like that. I like that mindset, and I think personally that both brands are really exceptional in the limited edition pieces. They're doing a really great job on that, and I have to say, especially Montegrappa is doing some really wild things. The creativity with Montblanc, with Montegrappa, is like, I don't know how they come up with things. So lately they launched the Frankenstein. I don't know if you have, of course you have seen it. It's with the hidden Frankenstein face in the cap. It's quite special, and I really like how they come up with new things like that. Wow, for example, with Montblanc have now recently launched the Origin collection, I think. Yeah.
Exactly. They were celebrating the 100 years of my sister. Yes, in the media also, it went wild because people had a different expectation. Some were looking for Ebonite, some were looking for the 193 model clips, or what will be the 100 years. Now I see that people are collecting 75 anniversary pen and then the 90 years anniversary, and they want to stack them together. The Instagram, they want to showcase that my collection is. I do have a personal taste, or I do have a personal story as well with that additions. 90 years was my 149 pen that I purchased directly from my own money. It was like now I have a 149 and I purchased it myself. So I lived with it, and I carried that pen using in certain elements of my life. For example, I was learning German language back then, so I have used it in my learning processes. And a certain period of that time, that 90 years pen was carrying with me wherever I go. Now, 100 years is the most weighted one, and believe it or not, I couldn't say, no, I'm passing this one. So I had to carry one, and I have one. Clare also did the same. So
yeah.
I had to match it with the 100 years. Yes, of course, there is the design elements. The logo is bigger. The clip is something different that people didn't see.
This is the Aurora clip.
Well, exactly. I said it's like Aurora clip. It's where is this clip coming from? So there is some similarity in that. I don't know if you can share a different Aurora. I have a different Aurora here. So there is some similarity here. So this is Aurora Deserto, because I'm an Arabian man. I love desert. I'm coming from desert area. So when they create desert, I have to have one, you know.
Of course. I also have a desert pen here. I have a desert pen here. I'm going to show you later on.
No, I like the weight. I love the weightiness of the 100th anniversary, because I like a little bit of a weightier pen. So that I just think it's beautiful. I would have liked it in a little different color, but it's still a beautiful pen.
So the expectations were high. We were thinking, what will be the 100 years? So they come with 3 colors, and each color is coming in a different size. If you want the green olive one in a 149, it's not there.
No.
So it's a smart marketing as well, I would say. But as an end user, you have to be wise enough to choose what you like, you know. And I always support that. And that's the story, Joost. Tell us about your story.
Makes sense. I have a question here on Instagram. Somebody's asking, where would you fit Graf from Faber-Castell in the horizon of Montegrappa and Montblanc?
Exactly. So that's also a different world. They are, I would say, they are very royal, very rich. It's like their heritage. Their pen of the year always showcase the different elements of the design, and it's a pen that's coming with no mistakes, I would say. I am personally not into the pen of the year. Somehow, thanks God, I'm not spending over there as well, because I have a lot to collect. I do really like the elements and the designs they pick up. I do have Graf 1 Faber-Castells, few of them. But I would like to also to try different nib options. And I would like to have something that's readily available. So wherever I go, there is a Montblanc boutique. If I go to Europe, if I go to US, that's the beauty. If I have some troubles, I'm just walking into one of the boutiques. They're spread out. But if you're going for a niche brand or some brand that's located or localized into one area, probably you will have some kind of, you'll need to have a good contact, maybe a good somebody to send the pens back if you have something. So
you can send it always to us. We will take care of it.
I know you take care. I know. I used. So that's the story, how it goes, you know. And the privilege of seeing the pen directly with your bare hands and eyes is a different opportunity. When 149 was this 100th anniversary, was, of course, we've been a little bit communicated about that stuff, and sometimes we see in the media. But when I saw it in reality, the pen is completely different from what is in the pictures, what is in the reviews, because you have to see the colors naturally, with how it feels, and then you will have a how
yeah, but honestly, there was kind of a lack of creativity there, right?
Well, there was a disappointed love and disappointment. It's like sweet and sour, you know. Sometimes you have to mix them together, so you create a blend.
Yeah. I have a question here, by the way, from Joshua, who was asking, "Hi, Joost, I want to buy a pen because I don't have one. So do you have any suggestion what pen should I buy as a first pen?" Claire, what would you recommend?
A very first pen? It's that's a tough question. You know, I don't know if you want to do something.
I would say just start with the Namiki Urushi immediately.
Yeah, right. I mean, you could go as simple as doing Lamy as your very first pen, but not like do a Lamy 2000 or something. But because Lamy Safari was my very first pen. Boy, did I graduate from that. But there's so many different pens out there, and there's so many wonderful brands. It's very hard to say. And also, if it's your very first pen, you need to do what's comfortable for you. And it's hard if there's not many. You want to be able to go somewhere to try them. And hopefully there's something in your area that you can do that too. So,
That's important.
Yeah.
Lami. Which says the Lami Safari and the TWSBI Eco. They are perfectly, if you would like to start with a fountain pen journey, you should definitely check those out.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
They will help you.
Lami's always a good first choice.
Definitely. I also need to talk a little bit about upcoming event. Because in a few weeks, we have the Dutch Pen Show here in the Netherlands, in Utrecht, actually. We are one of the organizers, and ticket sales started last Sunday at 7 p.m. So 7 in the evening, the ticket sales started, and most of the tickets, or let's say, put it like this, so the early access tickets were all sold out within 10 minutes. 2 workshops were sold out within 2 minutes, and all the goodie bags. So we have limited goodie bags. So there are only 250 goodie bags. All those goodie bags were all sold out within 10 minutes. So I think everybody's really looking forward to this event. It's going to be crazy. We have a lot of requests from vendors that they want to attend the show. A lot of people are coming all over the world. We're still waiting for Yasin to come to the show. Hopefully we can make him come over and join the show. Claire's coming next year. She promised me already.
Yes, I was coming this year, but we had some issues for this year, so it's definitely next year. All is well, and all is going very well. And so now next year is going to be great.
What about you, Yasin?
Well, I didn't plan yet, but I would love to. Honestly, I see that it's a wonderful community there. I do have some friends as well who are attending from Europe. So one day I would like to be there as well. It's
June 2nd. It is this year. Next year, I don't know what date exactly, but it will be the first Sunday of June for sure. So make sure to plan it for next year. I'm really wondering, the people that are watching right now, if they are coming, let us know in the comments. I'm just really curious what you are looking forward to, what you are looking for at a pen show, what you would like to see there. Is it certain workshops, or is it certain vendors, or is it a nib specialist, or brands, or just, let me know what you expect at a pen show, because, that way we can create something that people are actually looking forward to. All right, that's enough about the Dutch Pen Show. I also need to talk a little bit about some new products that are recently launched or just arrived in the store. Oh wait, Desert Inkwell says he or she is looking for nib specialists for sure, and workshops sounds great. We do have a lot of workshops at the Dutch Pen Show. 3 of them are already sold out. Creative with Ink is sold out. The Food Nib workshop is sold out, and the Traveling Journaling workshop is already sold out. We do have some other workshops which are still have seats available, but they're also selling out slowly, or not slowly, but they are selling out. So don't wait too long if you want to join a workshop. Getting a ticket for that. Unfortunately, you cannot come, but maybe next year, hopefully. All right, new products. I was discussing new products because
new products.
There was a really big launch last week. It was from a Pelikan M1000, the Renaissance Brown. I think a lot of people have seen it somewhere on social media because it was a really big thing. The Renaissance Brown was a really popular color of Pelikan in the M800 series, special edition, and they decided, let's do it in the M1000 size. As you may know or not know, the M1000 is usually only in black, green. It's used for the Maki A editions, but that's about it. So it's quite unique that Pelikan is using the M1000 now for a completely different color. and we're really excited for this. It's planned to launch next month, so we have to be a little bit patient. But we sold so many pieces already; it's crazy, and we're just really looking forward to the launch of that. Yasin, have you seen the M1000 Renaissance Brown?
Yes, indeed. In fact, I know the M800. I don't have that one, but I have
Mhm.
collected the Pelicans as well. What I really wish is the M800 series that's coming in at Radon. I would like to see an M800 in a Radon relaunch, and believe it or not,
That's
that's a
an
perfect
M1000 series, right?
M8. I would like to see an M800 coming in a Radon.
Oh,
M1000,
so it's a smaller piece. Yeah.
it's a slightly bigger pen for me, for my taste, and I believe I
Mhm.
can't for day to day. It's but surprisingly, the nib feeling of the M1000 is completely different than M800. It's
Yeah, it's a
more,
different nib. It's a different
more
size nib, of course. Yeah.
It's
exactly.
very, I have both, and it's so different. Where I have a broad in the M800,
Yes.
and I have a broad in the M1000, and I bought a medium to put in there because it's really juicy, wet, and it's actually, when you write with it, it sings a little bit. It's kind of
Exactly.
interesting. Yeah, it has like it does sing, and but yeah, I collect pelicans as well, and I like them.
Are you looking
They're-
forward to the Renaissance Brown?
We'll talk after the show, but yes, yes, of course, you know. But yes, I am looking forward to that, to add to my collection, I think, and it's a beautiful pen. I've seen it online, and I'm like, do I need it? No, but do I want it? Yes.
Of course you
Yeah,
want it.
yeah.
No, it's a really nice piece. It's a really nice piece. We have had the M800 in our store, of course, of the Renaissance Brown. The color is really nice. Uh, Talking about the Raiden or the Raden, sorry, for the M800. I know that Pelikan is doing the Maki A and the Raden all on the M1000 because there's more surface to put on there, right?
Yeah.
So it's it's more shiny, it stands out better on the M1000 compared to an M800. So I think that's why they only use the M1000 series for those. But an M800 in Raden would be nice indeed, I think, because an M800 I think it's more practical to use in everyday riding than the M1000. So yes, an M800 in Raden. Let's talk with Pelikan about that. Uh,
You have to
Wolf
talk to
City.
Jan.
Yes, I will talk with Yana. I have both as well and love them both. They are indeed both beautiful and really nice riders. All right. That was something that is now on the website and that you can pre-order. But we also have some other stuff that came in the store actually already. So we have it in stock. And the first one that I want to discuss is a pen that we are not allowed to sell yet because we're only allowed to sell it from tomorrow. So in a few hours, it will be online. You might have seen it already on a few websites because apparently some dealers are allowed to show, others not. I don't know, but we are not allowed until we can start a pre-order. The pen that I'm talking about is a TWSBI. It's a TWSBI Eco Caffe with bronze metal details. So it's not rose gold, but it's bronze. Wait, let me center it. Here it is. And the color it's a little bit caramel color. It's a really nice color, I think. And what I always like about the TWSBI Eco is that it's quite an affordable pen, of course, first of all, which is quite nice, but also that you can really see the ink inside. So that also makes the pen quite personal to you. So if you want to add some pink inside there, pink ink, you can just do that. But the pen looks completely different if you have, let's say, black ink in there. So this is a pen that you can go different ways with it. Claire, what do you think of this piece?
It's pretty. It's a nice piece. We started off with a bunch of those, and actually, I use my TWSBI Ecos to put shimmer inks in them because I have them in stubs. If you want to have some fun in writing some letters in shimmer, So that's what I use those the TWSBIs for, and yeah, we just have some fun with it, and we but in that, because it's like a coffee type color, you could always do KWZs. It smells like coffee.
Definitely. That's a good match.
And it does smell like coffee, and it lasts a few days. I've tested it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've tested it.
good.
Yeah, so
Of course,
it's
because
a
there's
pretty color.
real coffee inside there.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yasin, what do you think of this pen?
I think the model is good, and people like it for the transparent body it has. Me personally, for TWSBI, I do like the back editions. I do have several of the back editions. I prefer it over this model because I have the number 6 nib, which I feel is much more it's enjoyable to use than this one.
No, that's really nice. And Claire, what you're saying is indeed correct. You can use the shimmering inks here completely fine. Yeah, especially with the stub nibs, and if you have an issue here with the ink clogging up the feet, you can just replace that easily, and it's not like a big loss. It's easier to use it in this fountain pen than in your Pelicans, for example.
Exactly.
Two other new fountain pens that I also would like to introduce, which also came into the store. Actually, they came in last week already, but we were only allowed to launch them yesterday, because yesterday was Earth Day, and this is the Earth Day limited edition of Nahvalur. I have them both here. Let me send to them. Here they are. On the right or on the left, I don't know, on this side, we have here the desert. And here we have the Gaia. As you can see, the desert has beautiful, beautiful brown kind of color, and it has yellow gold trims, but it also has, of course, a yellow gold colored steel nib on it. It's a nib that's on all Nahvalur pens, so you can interchange that quite easily. And on the other side, we have the Gaia, which is here. And that pen has a very special green colored nib, what I personally really like. And also the clip and all the metal details are all green colored. Yes, very nice, very well done. I think that Nahvalur is doing a great job lately with their releases. They have a lot of colorful things. Also the way of how they use the acrylics. They're really doing a great job. Claire, what do you think of these two pieces?
They're beautiful, and I love the cap band, the band that goes around, because you can see a little bit of the ink window, and it's kind of like this wavy pattern. I had a couple of those in their other patterns, and they're a great pen. They're a wonderful piston for the cost and everything. I think it's a great pen. They work wonderful.
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job.
Yeah, the colors on these are beautiful.
Yeah, they are. Yasin, what do you think?
I believe Nahvalur also, they are improving quite much fastly. So they are coming up with more designs, different patterns, different techniques. So I see the brand is very active, and I see that people are liking it. It's not for starting up. It's a nice pen, I believe.
Yeah, it's a great pen. And this one is especially for you, Desert.
I'm a desert guy, but is it coming with a scented ink? Aurora comes with.
I don't know. I can send you a scented ink, a desert scented ink. How does the desert scent?
Well, actually, I was so curious to see how would they put the smell of a desert in ink. It's honestly, it's not a desert smell, but it has a unique perfume, and I believe Aurora was somehow creative in that as well.
Yeah, Aurora's doing a great job. They also recently launched a new pen. I don't have it here yet. I also didn't prepare it, so this is just all freestyling. It's about the ancient maps.
Yes.
And they have this little globe on top of the cap. It's a really nice piece. So they have the fountain pen, And then there's this little globe here on top of it, which is really nice. It will be a series of 5 pens. The first one that they launch is the blue one, I think. Yes, and that's actually all I know from my head. All the rest you have to look up on the website and discover it for yourself.
Is the first one called Alexandria? Or
no, the first one is Clare. Now I have to look it.
Well, no, because I did see something about Alexandria, and I've been there. I was a long, long time ago, and I just remember it being so beautiful. And you know, when I went to Egypt, and didn't like Cairo so much. I liked when we went to Alexandria because it just was brought back a great memory. You know, I was young. I was a lot younger then.
The first one is called the Ptolomeo, and the Ptolomeo is dedicated to Ptolomeo. Claudio Ptolomeo, he was a geographer around 150. Let's see what I see here. It begins in the city of Alexandria in Egypt. Oh, sorry, yes. It begins in the city of Alexandria in Egypt, home of the grandiose library. He drew the first geographical map of the known world using a grid of geometric lines corresponding to latitude and longitude. When Ptolemy's work appeared for the first time in Europe, it revolutionized continental cartography. So, well, that was that's the new Aurora, of course. It fits in this block. Claire, do you have a question for Yasin?
Yeah. Okay. I read somewhere, I think you were interviewed about you wanting to tell the world about writing. And I know nowadays, especially here in the States, they're starting to change it. At one point, they were taking writing or cursive out of schools. And people are complaining so much, they're starting to bring it back, which is a wonderful thing. Where you are, is it there? Are they still, children, are they being taught to write? I know it's different in you know, writing in different cultures, but I'm wondering, you know, are they having children do that? Because I know a lot of the parents here are complaining, and they're bringing writing back finally, or some of the places are fighting for it, or parents are here, they're having children privately taught too, you know, because it's a shame to take writing and not experience some of these great things that we're doing in the writing community.
So Claire, it's honestly a great question. In terms of the educational systems, I can't really talk about that area, but I would really love to see that any educational system is going to expose that kind of a writing heritage towards the youngsters, so they have the feel of it. Probably they will continue, or either they will drop it, but still they will have that exposure other than just going wild in the different techniques like laptops or PCs. So writing in Arabic culture is also, it's very close because we love poems. We do like poetry, and always the image of a good poem is also coming with a nice sheet of paper and some fountain pen. Mm-hmm. So that's the image that Arab world as a poetry is putting up into the world of literature. And I got passionate about that. I grew up looking into that pictures that's coming into the books or the side marks of the books, and always the quill or the pen or the inkwell is always associated that our culture is like that. So we have a lot of literature, we have a lot of poetry, and I would really like to see that a system that's introducing all this beautiful stuff to the younger generation or whoever are there. So when they are exposed, who knows, probably they are the true writers for tomorrow. They are the poets for tomorrow. You have to introduce the nice systems, plug it in their education, plug it in real life, so they have some good passion. Mm-hmm. And sometimes youth also will get some good orders if there are nice collectors as well, so, you know.
Well, we display our fountain pens here, everywhere. I mean, every speck of where we are in our home there's pens. So when we do have company over, that have never seen them.
It depends on the left shoulder of Claire. You can see how they're on display at home.
Yeah, this is my dining room area, and there's instead of like, you know, dining stuff, it's fountain pens, but they're everywhere, and it's so amazing that if our friends and even their children, they get excited, they want to learn more, and so we keep a lot of pens that we use to be able to give as gifts to, as we call, penable, you know, and they just gravitate toward it, and it's amazing to expose people to it, and they'll say, Claire, I ran out of this ink. Can I come over? Can you show me how to do this again? And you know, they're really kind of, you know, they really are enjoying it, and I like to see that, the writing passion and bringing that back. You know, everything is so modern with computers and laptops and cell phones, and everybody's like just doing this, you know. So yeah.
But Claire, you're really good in giving gifts, because I also got a gift from you a few weeks ago. This beautiful, well, actually I should put some pens in there to actually show how it works, because this is a really cool pen tray where you can display your pens. And Claire, you even managed to put my name here on it in the beautiful dark green leather. And you didn't make this yourself, right?
No, I have a friend of mine I met through our local fountain pen meetup club, and he does a lot with the leather, and he makes these pen stands. And I said, can you put a logo on them? And he said, yes. And I said, well, Joost is getting married. What do you get? You know, I wanted to give him something. I said, well, let's just do that. I mean, it's really for him, but, and yeah, so he made that one, and he copied the logo, the Appelboom logo for me. We have a few here with some of our displays with these leather pen holders, and it's Roger Bayo here in the States. And yeah, just if anybody is interested, you know, we can discuss it, and always send messages through IG or something, or through Joost, and we'll figure it out. But he makes these.
If you also like this, and this is what you're looking for, this is a really nice piece, actually. You know, it holds 7 pens. You can put it on your desk. It's a really nice way to showcase it. Contact Claire or us, and we will make sure, because it can be really personalized, right? So you can have anything here on it. You have some with brand names on it, right?
Yeah, he did that sort of as a favor, but I don't know if he really can do that. But yes, he is a friend. So, but yeah, so I have one that has Montegrappa and one that has Montblanc and Visconti. So,
or can you also make one with Rosalinda on it?
Yes, we can. Yes, you can do it. I should just do Coco the collector or something. You know, Coco the collector.
Or Yasin the collector.
Yeah.
Montegrappa Pen Club. You know, you can put everything on there.
And they can do it right for that size. 7 for the name is great, but he can do smaller sizes. But it's, you know, it just would have to be, you know, he does 2, 3. He does singles, and but I like an odd number. Because it just shows better. Yeah,
definitely. It's a really nice piece. I don't take any commission of this. It's just, you know, just to support this guy, because I really appreciate what he did. It's a really nice thing. And this is his company name, right?
Yes. Yep. Bello. He has on Etsy store as well. Bello Leather. BELLO.
Bello Leather. Go check it out if you want this. It's just really cool to have this on your desk, I think, and you should get one. I got a question here from Lenny. He was asking, is it as large as the Duca? I think he's referring to the Ancient Maps edition. Yasin, you have the Deserto there, right? Can you show it again?
I have the Deserto, but the Duca is bigger than Deserto.
Yeah, but the Ancient Maps, it is based on this model, actually. So it's based on the Deserto.
It's based on the Deserto model.
Yeah, or on that model. This model has a certain name to it, but it's based on that. So it also has the sterling silver. But on top of the cap, there is this really cool
A bigger piece, a bigger chunk of logo, and it's something like the Aurora logo.
Yeah.
The Duca is much bigger, and the grip.
Yeah, Duca is much bigger. So this is not the yes, exactly, the Ambienta. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you. Thank you.
Ambienta.
All right. Okay, we're almost here at the end of the show already. If you have any questions for me, for Claire, for Yasin, please ask them now. Otherwise, it's too late. But in the meantime, Yasin, maybe you can come up with a question for our upcoming guest. Where we can start the show with. What questions shall we ask start the show with? And I'm not going to tell you to be the guest.
I would assume it's somebody who's always so passionate about fountain pens as well. So, what was the first ink you ever put in your fountain pen? If you can remember.
That's a really good one.
That's the question I have.
That's a great question.
Yeah. What was the first ink you ever did put in your fountain pen? That's a really good question. So the guest for next week is the general manager and founder of a new brand that we have at Appelboom. It is Ulpia, or I don't know actually how to pronounce it. We're going to ask him that next week. Ulpia. It's a Spanish brand. It's a new brand, but it's a really, really, really cool brand. They do a lot with ebonite, and they have a really special filling mechanism. We're going to ask Raul Garcia. He's the founder and general manager. All about it next week. All right. Yasin, is there anything that you would like to share with us before we end the show?
I would like to share that you have to keep writing. This community made us to meet together, made us to know each other. It's a wonderful community, a wonderful passion. So keep writing. That's my story.
I really like that. And if you are interested in Montblanc or Montegrappa pens, you should definitely sign up to the Facebook group of Yasin, Montegrappa Pen Club and Montblanc Society, because, everything about those brands will be shared there, from newer models to older models. I see everything there, right?
Thank you very much. It's basically I'm sharing what I love, and I would like to put it in my way now, in my own language. So I do use my own resources. I'm not backed up by any company. I'm just sharing the pure passion behind them. I would like to see you all, and I'm always available. You can shoot me an email, you can text me, you can talk to me. We can have a pen meet as well, Joost. If you are visiting me, we can have a nice dinner there as well.
Oh, thank you. I'd love to visit that part of the, that part of the world.
Most welcome. So I do receive some people also when passing by, they text me, and sometimes we meet up and we have a nice dinner. That's the good part of the community, and I welcome all.
Thank you so much for your kindness. Claire, I would really like to thank you for participating again, being the co-host of the Appelboom Bites podcast again. It's always a pleasure to have you. Next week, we have Raul Garcia, the general manager and founder of Ulpia Pens. We're going to ask him a lot of questions because it's also a new brand for me. So I also need to learn a little bit more about it. Hopefully, we got their pens in the store in the meantime, because we have placed a really large order with them, and they said that they hopefully can ship it before the podcast, but it was kind of critical because the order was so large. So hopefully they can ship it in time, and I can actually have the pens here in my hands. And otherwise, we will figure that out. Yasin, thank you again so much for being a guest, taking the time, and talking about the pens, what we all love so much. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me, and it was great meeting you. I'm enjoying being a co-host and learning a lot more too. So it's always learning. Learning is great. So thank you so
much, everybody that was watching. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to do that right now. If you're listening to the podcast through Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow our podcast so you won't miss out on on a stream anymore. And once again, everybody that was watching this show and joining the show with the comments, let's say, Jeffrey, thank you all so much for such an informative show. Really appreciate that you're joining the conversation because, yeah, that's what we love, talking about pens. Thank you again, and we see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.